Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I was planning to do like a get ready with me while I give you some updates about everything that's going on in my life. But I ran out of time this morning, and so I just thought we'll have a little bit of a chit chat and then I'll take us off to the gym. Also got some updates on the handstand challenge at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that. Basically just kind of wanted to have a little chat really, because especially if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably know I've not really been myself, especially for the last couple of weeks. I've felt a lot more kind of up and down, and let's be honest, I am no stranger to talking about my mental health online. I've done it for a lot of years now. It definitely doesn't get any easier the more I do it, because it still makes me feel embarrassed and uncomfortable. I feel like, I feel like people aren't going to understand, or they're going to think I'm dramatic, or they're going to be like, what has she got to be sad about? That sort of, I'm more worried about that sort of response when I do talk about things. So yeah, it's definitely uncomfortable, but the way I view it is, I'm a 25-year-old, I am self-employed, I have my own small business, I have no experience in any of these things, and I am just working things out as I go along. And if I was watching someone else in my situation dealing with anxiety and dealing with not feeling good enough and still pushing through those uncomfortable feelings to go and follow her dreams and do all these things, I'd want to see it. That would be helpful to me. So as uncomfortable as it is for me, as worried as I am about what people might think, I do continue to do it. And so yeah, we are here, and I haven't been myself, and I haven't really told everyone why, so I'm just going to touch on it slightly. Obviously I went to Australia and I had the best time ever, and actually when I come back from Australia, I was a little bit worried I'd have like a low. I know in previous YouTube videos I've spoken about kind of you have highs, and then after highs you ultimately expect the lows, and I used to be like on a proper roller coaster, but I really have worked hard on that, and I didn't suffer with that as much anymore. But I came home, I threw myself into work and content, and obviously the content that I was doing in Australia was very different to what I was now doing back home. So I think I was just having a little bit of an identity crisis in that sort of sense of just feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, I did throw myself into work and I was feeling super positive. But as the month went on, I think the weather wasn't great. I was feeling really, really stressed out with work. And yeah, it's just kind of been a lot more up and down recently than I would have liked it to be. I also definitely have been struggling with feeling quite lonely at home. I think I love being self-employed. I think it's probably the only route for me now, but I am the only self-employed person of my friendship group. I also live in Essex, which there's not much of a kind of community here in the sense of like little coffee shops to work at, or gyms with massive social groups and stuff. So I just feel a little bit out of the loop. I'm like creating a lot of my content by myself. I'm filming a lot by myself. I'm just spending a lot of time by myself, and I think, I've just been tapping into that lonely where I'm just kind of fed up of being on my own. I think that's been playing in a lot, because I think the more time I spend by myself and the more frustrated I get that I can't create content in the way that I want to create it, the less inspired I feel to do it, the less inspired I feel to create at all, and even just the less confident I feel, because the moment I'm around other people, I haven't had the practice to feel confident enough to do it, so I kind of just will happily sink into the background a bit. Obviously coming from being in Australia where pretty much everyone I was with was self-employed, and there was a lot more freedom and flexibility there, I think I was just kind of feeling a bit lost and lonely, which again I'm working on. And towards the end of March, I found out that my contract with Under Armour is not being renewed, which I was definitely gutted about, because I love UA, I love Sports Direct, I love the people that work for them, I love the teams. I feel like, especially with Under Armour, I kind of never felt any pressure to be anyone but myself. And yeah, I've had an incredible 2 years. Like, that is to be said. There's zero bad blood at all. This is not one of those videos. It's just what happens when you're in this industry. But I was definitely gutted. I think the reason why it kind of really threw me, because I kind of always expected that it could be the case. You kind of have to expect that when you do my job. But I think the reason it threw me is because they're going in a different direction. They're going in the football direction, the running direction. But I think where it sent me to, personally, is I am not, like, the content I create is not, I guess, for mass. That is pretty niche, you know. I'm doing flexibility, doing calisthenics, doing adult gymnastics, lifting in the gym, like, still being a bit girly. Like, there's a lot of things going on, and I guess I got in my own head that maybe I was too niche. Maybe I was never gonna be able to provide brands with what they're looking for, or maybe, you know, my audience is never gonna be big enough. You know, I kind of just really got into my head that I just wasn't good enough. Just purely me spiraling, like, maybe I can't do this anymore. Like, maybe this is it, you know. I was like, God, I kind of feel like I'm back starting from scratch. And also, if you go back to 2 years ago, when I first started working with Under Armour, it was at that similar point where I decided to quit my 9-to-5 job. So I think I had a lot of things going on where I was like processing, not wondering if, you know, I was going to be too niche to continue this. I was processing, I'm now in the position I was 2 years ago, and just genuinely feeling a little bit confused about what I wanted to do and what my purpose was. I had a real moments over the last few weeks where I was like, can I do this, you know? Which just comes down to me lacking belief in myself. When I look at the facts, and like, Joanna's been really amazing and incredible, and I'm so lucky to have Activate of Luke and Joanna on my team, of being like, Sophie, look at the facts, look at everything you've kind of achieved. But yeah, I guess in the sense I've just been feeling super lost and just not really knowing what I'm doing. I do truly believe, like, the universe has my back in everything. Like, I know that if one thing hasn't worked out for me, something else is coming. I'm just not sure what that is. And I think because I'm also not sure on what my next steps are, I just feel super lost. And then when you're trying to create online, when you're also not feeling 100% yourself, it's really difficult, because I feel like I can't quite figure out my messaging or what I want to tell people, you know. All of these things are just tying in to mean that I'm just a bit overwhelmed at the moment, and struggling a little bit to deal with it. I'm trying to focus on just taking the next best step, and on that I just have to accept that I will have good days and I will have bad days. And I feel like the biggest misconception with mental health is that you are sad all the time, and it's just not that at all. You could be going through, like for me, going through this massive period of change where overall, like, you just don't feel yourself, you don't feel that great. But in that, you will have days where you just kind of do forget about it, and you do loads and you feel fine, and then the next day you might have that kind of drop off. And I feel like that's what I'm struggling to navigate on social media at the moment, is that I feel like one day I'm portraying I'm fine, I'm happy, and the next day I'm having this kind of dark day. And it's like, maybe that's too confusing for people, maybe I shouldn't put that online. There's just a lot of unsettled feelings going on. Focusing on training, focusing on working, focusing on what I can control, focusing on not taking things personally. The thing about me is I'm scared. If I'm anxious, I will make it happen. And so I just need to kind of allow myself the time to, like, work through and process all these kind of things I'm feeling, and all these kind of emotions I have. and I just will get through it. Like, it is what it is. I'll figure it out. I hope that by kind of sharing this, I might help any of you that feel a little bit lost or feel a little bit lonely, in the sense that you're just not alone. Like, we go through it, and we can ride it out, we can get through it, and we will get through it. And yeah, you know, if anyone wants to chat about it, my DMs are always open. So my saving grace through all of this has been my training, and today we are trying to do all of my hardest calisthenics skills in one session. So let's go, I'll see you at the gym. Hi guys, so I'm just popping in here really to let you know that I have a handstand challenge running in May. It's a handstand challenge for complete beginners, or even those of you that are already confident upside down but are working on improving your handstand balance. Often I'm always getting questions about how people can start calisthenics, get involved in calisthenics. We are always looking for more female representation, especially in the UK. I completely understand that it's scary, it's intimidating, it feels really difficult to, you know, get involved and figure out a way to get involved, especially if you're a complete beginner, right? I always say you want to start with the basics, and the basics involve pull-ups, chin-ups, hanging, leg raises, and definitely handstands. This challenge is going to cover strength and conditioning for the handstand, it's going to cover flexibility for the handstand, and if you want it to, it's going to cover handstand drills as well. It's going to be run on my online studio. They're all follow-along classes that you can do live with me or on demand in your own time, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, it's going to be absolutely epic. Starts on the 9th of May. You get to be part of a community. You get to take part in weekly tasks that are going to keep you accountable, that are going to help you have some fun, and it's going to help you meet other adults that are also learning to do the same things that you are. If you want to find out more information on what's included and how to get involved, head to my website. The link is in the description box, and you can find an information page that will tell you everything you need to know about the challenge. I hope to see you there.